Hello YouTubers, this is Sino Sports back at it again. Been a while since I made video, but I'm back at it here. And today we are going to talk about the NFL season pretty much because it's the NFL's 100th season already. Can you believe that? I mean, the season is going fast. So yeah, I'm just going to tell you a few histories of the NFL, of what I know, and I'm going to talk about my NFL team's Bengals season of where they're headed. So, with the NFL's 100th season, founded in 1920, you're going back days of George Harrison and his dictator Stanley's, before them Chicago Bears. You're talking about Vince Lombardi Packers with their Super Bowls called the Lombardi Trophy. So, lots of things going on with the NFL this season being their 100th. So, it's going to be very exciting. So, let's talk about, my Bengals. So, again, my Bengals started out as a franchise since 1968 by owner Paul Brown himself, which is named after the stadium, the Paul Brown Stadium. So, I've been a diehard, like I said before, I've been a diehard Bengals fan since 2008 for 11 years when I was in the third grade, back when Palmer was our quarterback and Chad Johnson was our wide receiver, but to me he's Ocho Cinco. Because the first season I became a fan of him, it was the first time he became Ocho Cinco. That season I became a fan of them. So it's like I said before, I got to see some Bengals games, which hopefully, if I can find a way to show you guys the pictures and videos to show you on my channel for the games. So my first Bengals game I went to was 2017 in Cincinnati against the Bears. And yeah, it was a tough loss. They lost 33-7. Very disappointing loss for that game, especially an easy team at the time, Chicago. But what's so amazing about my first Bengals game in 2017, it was their 50th season. So I got to see some old school players like Corey Dillon, which is my favorite Bengals player of all time. Corey Dillon, Willie Anderson, Rudy Johnson, Brian Simmons, Bob Johnson. So, So here's the thing about my Cincinnati Bengals. If you're talking about players, like, again, you got the all-time leading rusher, Corey Dillon, the all-time leading passer, Ken Anderson, and the all-time leading receiver, Chad Johnson. And now, with the numbers of players they wore, like you have Hall of Famer Anthony Munoz. Now, here's what I don't understand. Why Anthony Munoz's number isn't retired. He's the only Bengals player that's worn number 78, and he's the only Bengals player that's a Hall of Famer. So, come on, you gotta retire his number if he's a Hall of Famer and the only one that's wearing it, Saying about my Bengals, they've had some very famous, most memorable games. Now again, yeah, Super Bowl, but I can't say it's been the most memorable, knowing they lost those Super Bowls, which made history for San Francisco. Now I will say this though, the most memorable Bengals game is, to all Bengals fans that will never forget, now of course I wasn't alive at the time, of course, is the 1981 AFC Championship game, otherwise known as the Freezer Bowl, between my Cincinnati Bengals going against the San Diego Chargers, with cold weather like -9 degrees. So one of the famous bowls, you could say, because we got the Fog Bowl, the Ice Bowl, but to me the Freezer Bowl is the most memorable for my, my team. Also too, like I said, again, about my other sports friend, Jason Collier. Now he's a Philadelphia Eagles fan. Now you see, with football, and it goes the same to all sport, but especially with football, we would do our predictions of week by week with what team is going to win, what the final score is going to be. And when he does that, he tells how it's going to happen for that team to win. But for me, I could say that, but I'm just all about who's going to win and what the final score is going to be. So, the thing is, like I said, I just want to view for Monday night's game between my beloved Cincinnati Bengals going against dread-hated Pittsburgh Steelers for our divisional rivalry. And also, can you believe that it's their 100th meeting. It's the 100th meeting between these two teams. I mean, what's interesting is that, of course, Pittsburgh leads against Cincinnati with 64-35. 64-35. Now this time, Mike Tomlin won't be able to coach against Marvin Lewis. He'll be against Zach Taylor. And the scene is what coaches are wise. I mean, yes, all Bengals fans, including me, are happy that Marvin Lewis is gone. I mean, gone but never forgotten. We had tons of respect to God because he saved a lot for the franchise. Not winning playoff games, not even winning Super Bowl, but he made it a better team. Because, we've been down and out before Marvin Lewis. Because you know how bad we did in the 1990s after our last playoff win victory in 1990 against the Houston Oilers, we were crushing 41-14. 1990 was our last playoff win. In fact, we're the longest streaking team without a playoff win. There hasn't been an NFL team before us that hasn't won a playoff game. We're the oldest, so it sucks for us, I mean, we've been bad. We've been bruised in the 90s and any other year, any other season. I mean, lots of people can say rumors we're going to be the next Cleveland Browns. I wish not to bleed too much about that. Because, the history between my Cincinnati Bengals and Cleveland Browns, that's some history. What with Paul Brown owning the franchises, having the same color, both from the fantasies of Ohio. So, I mean, we're like, my team Cincinnati is against Cleveland 50 or 41. I mean, with our divisions like Baltimore, Cleveland, Pittsburgh, our division rivals, I mean, trust me, I have more respect for Baltimore than Cleveland and Pittsburgh. Now, what's scary is that, Baltimore and Cincinnati had the same number of wins. Cincinnati has beaten Baltimore 23 times. Baltimore has beaten Cincinnati 23 times. So for this season, I'm hoping, either we beat them twice or we keep it even, I mean, it's easy enough for us to beat Cleveland, but hard enough for us to beat Pittsburgh and hope for that be changed or be all the same, So again, I just want to preview for Monday night between my Bengals and Steelers. Is that, again, both teams are 0-3. Both teams are 0-3. So Monday night, I'm going to be so freaking nervous. I'm going to freak out, I'm going to freak out. And, we're losing, some players. Like, I'm wearing my A.J. Green jersey, so, of course, A.J. Green's going to be ruled out, but hopefully he'll get back, because taking Boot out, he's doing some practice. One thing about A.J. Green, even though he gets injured every now, he finds a way to get back into the game. So, again, A.J. Green's out. Carlos Dunlap is out. Now, Green and Dunlap are two good players, so it's disappointing that they'll be ruled out for that game. I believe Carl Lawson is out. Shaw Williams, I say questionable. Questionable for Tyler Eifert. I mean, so far he hasn't been hurt, but I mean, I keep updates of injuries because I would hate for these players to be out for the game, even if they did. We try and find a way, but at this point we don't have the top players. But speaking of that, so I went to see my Bengals game. So first one, Cincinnati against Chicago. We had our top players. Green was in the game. Dalton was in the game. Of course, Atkins and Dunlap were in the game. And it was a blowout loss, 3-7. Now, however, the one in Pittsburgh, we lost them in Pittsburgh at Heinz Field, the game I went to. But we only lost them by a field goal, 16-13. And we didn't have the top players. No Green, no Dalton, no Board. I mean, we had Driscoll, Ross, Core. We luckily had Joe Mixon, because Joe Mixon is good. I mean, Giovanni Mars is pretty good too, but Joe Mixon, I think he leads it very well. So what's interesting is that, man, that blowout loss in Cincinnati, they had our top players. And the close game against Pittsburgh is like their practice squad, So I guess you don't want to judge too much about that you don't have your top players and they're really going to lose badly, because you just never know. I mean, you just never know, because they can do damage as much as the top players can. So yeah, I mean, the games I went to were so amazing. So I'm hoping to see another Bengals game this season. I'm hoping that we're planning on seeing my Bengals play the Ravens in Cincinnati. So it should be an interesting game. Hopefully A.J. Green, our other players, will be back in the game. So, I will say this, though. I mean, I just hope that we start winning a playoff game don't want to talk too much about Super Bowls, but hopefully at least win a playoff game. Because I'll never forget the 2015 playoff game. Now, I just want to say, I mean, again, my friend Jason, we've had these arguments about teams winning and losing. So, at the time in 2016, all AFC North teams were battling all NFC East teams. So, of course, my Bengals were playing the Eagles. Now, Jason was talking crap about my team, saying, we're definitely going to beat you, we're going to play. But I'm like, you just never know in life. Anything could happen is what I said. So, yeah, the moment we were watching my Bengals against his Eagles, Eagles didn't score, as we all know, Eagles didn't score a touchdown till we were down 29, till they were down 29-0 against my Bengals. And, of course, we beat them 42-14. So, I had to get back them. Now, at first I took it easy because, he's my best friend and all. I didn't want to be that way. But I felt like, I should get back him. So I'm going to. So I've been on him for 3 weeks knowing that we won it. And, I proved you wrong, I told him how much they suck and all that stuff. I just had to get him. So, yeah. So, don't judge. I don't guarantee too much with wins a lot. I don't guarantee too much because you think you would believe it, but to prove everybody you're wrong and you're going to get it. You're just going to get it. So, like I said, we'll see how it goes Monday night between my Bengals and hated Steelers and stuff. We'll just see how it goes. So, now the thing is about our new coach, Zach Taylor. I think he's making promises to the team. I mean, we're 0-3, but he's doing a lot. I mean, that close game against Seattle where we lost 21-20, something was up. I think defense played well. They sacked Russell Wilson to the ground. The defense totally stopped them. The offense was good too. I mean, I'm seeing Dalton pass to Bernard back to Dalton. Froze was on with a touchdown. That's amazing. And then all of a sudden, before halftime when it was almost over, Dalton throwing a Hail Mary to John Ross for a touchdown. Halftime we were lead 17-14. So we thought it was up by a close game. That tells something is going on. Now the one against Buffalo. Now again, the San Francisco one we should have won. But, San Francisco, they've done terrible, but they're getting back to being better, So, the one against Buffalo, that one, again, I was worried because offense was good enough, defense was somewhat good, but, fourth quarter was almost over. 4th and 5th, we're down 21-17, and all of a sudden, Buffalo intercepted. I was so upset. Zach Taylor was upset because he knew what was right and what was wrong. I mean, these refs, don't want to say anything bad against refs, but sometimes they just don't get everything right. Because, again, we all know that in the 2018 NFC Championship, NFC Championship of 2018 between Rams and Saints, that Rams player and that Saints player, that should have been a flag. I mean, hey, they flagged Vontaze Burfict for headhunting Antonio Brown in that wild card game. So they should have done the same when that Rams player knocked out the Saints player in 2018. So, I mean, these refs, come on. I mean, we say a lot about the NFL, but it's a 100 season, so we'll see how it goes. And we'll see how it goes for my Bengals for the rest of the season to know that anything could happen. So, for right now, I'm going to show you some of my Cincinnati Bengals gear why I don't. So, you see me in my hand jersey? Well, here's what else I got. So, to start, as you can see all the way here, I have this Cincinnati Bengals thing where it shows some old players. Like right there's a running back from 1997-2003, Corey Dillon. Quarterback, Ken Anderson. There's wide receiver Chris Collinsworth. That's a broadcaster too. Quarterback Boomer Esiason. There's Anthony Munoz, Hall of Famer tackle from 1992. There's also Ickey Woods with the Ickey Show, and our best receiver yet, AJ Green. I also have this Bengals, banner right here of their logos for each year. Also got this Bengals pennant, Houday towel, the helmet. Also got this clock here. Again, lots of hats, of course. I got this book, The Bengals Avenue. And then, so in my closet, I will show you. I also have right here is a Bengals blanket. This is a Bengals tie. Got lots of jerseys. Andy Dalton in orange. Vontaze Burfict in orange. Got this jacket. Lots of jackets. I mean, coaches. this sweatshirt, lots of sweaters, lots and lots of sweaters, and of course this shirt I have since I was 12 that still fits me. So yeah, that's pretty much what I have for my Bengals stuff. So like I said, good luck to all the other NFL teams out there. So we'll see how the rest of this thing goes. And good luck to my Bengals. Hooray, let's go Bengals. Good luck to those other NFL teams. Keep a watch for Side Note Sports. That's all for now. See ya.